Today on CityCast Chicago, for me, a Thanksgiving table isn't complete without a pie or like 10 pies. Luckily, Chicago has no shortage of pie shops and bakeries, so the team is doing a little taste test to find some of the best pies in the city. It's Wednesday, November 27th. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago's talking about. I am joined by executive producer Simone Alicea. What's up, Simone?
Hey, Jacoby.
And we are also joined in the booth by Hey Chicago newsletter editor Sydney Madden. What's up, Sydney?
Hi, Jacoby.
I'm going to be real. We have eaten a lot of things on the podcast, from Kopi to sweet steaks to Italian ice. This might be my absolute favorite taste test we have done in our almost 4 years as a group together. I don't know about y'all. How much do you love pie? Sydney, I'm going to start with you. Are you a big sweets person?
I'm a big sweets person. I would say I'm more recently a pie person. I'm a very amateur baker, and cakes, cookies, brownies are all a lot easier. But I enjoy pies because it takes a long time to make, so you really appreciate the process.
Oh, that's a good point. I have always had such a affinity for my mother and my grandmother's pies, but I'm not someone who really went around the city of Chicago and tried people. That's one of those foods that's similar to like a mac and cheese, maybe, that I'm like, if it ain't my mama's, I'm really hesitant to try. But this taste test got me outside, got me trying some people. What about you, Simone? Does pie hit your sweet tooth spot?
It depends. I really got to be in the mood for it. You know what I mean? And I'm so picky about sweets in general. I feel like I'm very particular, and I like them a certain way. But this was a really fun experience to get out and kind of see what Chicago has to offer.
For this taste test, each of us visited a local spot and tried multiple slices to see which ones we'd love to have on our holiday table. Simone, let's start with you. Where did you go and what did you try?
Yeah, so I went to Honey Pie Bake Shop in Edgewater on Broadway near Granville. So you could take the Red Line if you wanted. That is a shop that originated in Milwaukee, but they teamed up with some local chefs and opened early in the pandemic, like April 2020, along with a restaurant, Beard and Belly, which I had been to several times, actually. I'd been to the restaurant, love their stuff. They do a great brunch. They've got a great biscuit. They also have an excellent quiche. So, a savory sort of pie adjacent kind of dish, right? So I came in with pretty high expectations for the pie. So the pies that I got a key lime pie, which is one of my favorite pies in general. I got a cranberry orange cheesecake, which we can fight about if cheesecake is a pie or not. And I got these s'mores. They called them a s'mores bar, but it was essentially a s'mores pie. It was like a chocolate with a bunch of, marshmallow meringue that had been torched. And I think there was, a graham cracker crust on that as well.
Maybe I got such a limited palate, but from those three options, one of those feels like sort of standard key lime pie. The others feel kind of unique. Do I have a limited palate? Are those unique like pie flavorings, or am I basic?
Cranberry orange is a classic holiday combo, right? Which is part of the reason I got it.
I've never heard it in a pie, but okay.
They didn't have like a pumpkin available by the slice. They did have them for their like Thanksgiving pie orders, right? They had like pumpkin available. They had this a pecan, some other special offerings that are actually available for pickup through the 30th, I believe. And it sounds like they're going to do something similar for Christmas as well. But they just didn't have it available. So I wanted something that had some, a kind of a holiday-y spirit palette, and that cranberry orange kind of checked that box for me.
All right. Honey Pie Bake Shop in Edgewater. Rank your slices, Simone. What came in third place?
For me, it was the s'mores bars. This is good for somebody. Somebody will really like this.
That's like the Keith Lee way of criticizing food. He's always like, it's not for me, but hey, you might love it. This might be up your alley.
It's, you guys have eaten out with me where I have been like, I think this dessert is too rich. Like there's too much kind of going on, too sweet. That's kind of how I felt like. I do feel like if you've got some kids in your life, it does taste like a s'more. You do get that toasted marshmallow. All three of these have kind of a creaminess, and like Honey Pie Bakery, I think does like creamy especially well. For me, it was just a little too dense. These slices are also really big.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of it right now, and it looks like
it's
like
hefty.
they give you your money's worth.
I think 2 people could reasonably share the s'mores bar. So not my favorite, but if you love something that's very sweet, very chocolatey, very rich, that's definitely going to be up your alley. It was also, I will say, the cheapest of the 3 slices. It was only $7. Okay. The other 2 were $8 each.
Good point. What came in second place?
For me, it was the key lime pie in second. I love a key lime pie, and I think there are 2 schools of thought on key lime pie, right? There are people who are there for the meringue. They're there for again that creaminess, that sweetness, and then there are the people like me who are like, no, I'm here for the lime. I want the juice. I want the zest. I want the sour. This definitely leaned more into the meringue topping. It was like 1.5 times the size of the actual lime filling. The lime filling was really good. You could see the little pieces of zest in it, but it wasn't as tart as I would have liked. And it's not the ratio that I prefer. Still really strong. I still really liked it, and it kept really well. That's the other thing I like about key lime pie is I feel like it keeps so well.
Not a big key lime pie fan. I don't really like the flavor, and typically I don't like pie that is mostly cream filling. I think I've been swayed a little bit with one of my choices, but I'm not going to get into that one yet. So it sounds like the winner for you was the cranberry orange cheesecake.
Yes, absolutely the winner for me. I could eat 4 slices of this. I loved it so much. Now, there are going to be people in the comments who are like, a cheesecake's not a pie, it's a cake. I don't care. It's not that interesting. The argument for cheesecake being part of the pie canon is right. Typically cheesecake on a crust, there's, you have to build a crust and then there's a filling that you have on top. That's kind of the definition of a pie.
Yeah, it feels closer to a pie than a cake, but
I think for most people, I love cheesecake in general. The cranberry orange topping, it felt like the best version of a cranberry sauce you've ever had. Like it was this platonic ideal of like cranberry orange holiday for me. But I think with the cheese especially, like felt kind of fresh and different and desserty and not, it was a nice take on it.
Any other pie recs you want to put people on?
Yeah, one spot also on the north side, First Slice Pie in Andersonville, is such a great spot. They are also really unique because they kind of do this charitable giving as part of their whole operation. So like you can subscribe and then they take that money and they put together like meal boxes and stuff for people who need it. It's a really interesting spot just for that reason, but also their pies are pretty good, particularly their fruit pies. They do a sour cherry pie that I really like. I also like that the slices are very reasonably sized. They're reasonably priced. They also do a key lime pie that's very, very good. Another spot that I can vouch for is Bang Bang Pie in Logan Square. I think a very popular spot. Last year, I tried also a cheesecake there. They had a pumpkin goat cheese cheesecake with like pumpkin seeds on top. That was delicious. That is so up my alley. Everything about that is so up my alley. And the team is laughing because it's so not up their alley at all.
Because we both did the emoji where the face is like an upside down U at the exact same time.
It's good. If you like a cheesecake, that's the way to go. 2 spots that I want to try because I have heard a lot of good things. Spinning Jay and Pie Pie My Darling, both kind of in the Humboldt Park, Westtown area.
Hey, we will drop links to a lot of these places in our show notes, so don't try to keep up during the conversation. You can always head there for more information. See, over to you. Where did you go and what pies did you try?
I went to Hoosier Mama Pie in Westtown. They also have an Evanston location. And I feel like if you look up anywhere to get sweet pies in Chicago list, this is kind of an institution. They've been around for 15 years. They have a cookbook. They even gave me this little punch card. If I go 6 times, I get a slice for free.
And it looks like the punch card is punched in the shape of a pie. It's a circle.
It's really cute.
Yes.
I'm obsessed. I was so excited to show you guys. I thought I lost it.
I love their name. Hoosier Mama Pie is hilarious.
Well, but not Who's Your Mama, Hoosier.
No, Who's Your Mama? Who's Your Mama? It just, the accent took it away.
like a person from Indiana, Hoosier.
Yes.
Just to
Hoosier
explain the
Yes.
audible, the oral joke here.
It was great. I actually think you guys would like it. It's super quaint on the inside too, and they have a patio when it's nice out. So I'll be revisiting once we get past this winter. But I got 3 different pies. I got a pumpkin pie, I got a Hoosier sugar cream pie, and then I got the sour cream Dutch fruit pie. And in terms of ranking, I only got pumpkin pie because Simone told me to. I felt like she strongly suggested it.
Well, I wanted a holiday pie in the mix.
I think a lot of these are inherently holiday pies.
Totally.
Key lime pie is not a holiday pie.
Just because we say it is, just because we say it is.
Fair enough.
So I'm not a pumpkin pie person really at all. But I did want to give it a try. On the first bite, I just felt like I got a lot of the spices stuck in my nose, which I didn't really love. Second bite was a lot better. I got the crust in there, really great flaky crust. And I think this is just how I feel about pumpkin pies in general, not exclusively to this place, but it's just not for me.
I feel you. I'm the same way. I've never really found anything pumpkin flavored that knocks my socks off.
Remember those pumpkin spice flavored pumpkin seeds you had when we did that episode about pumpkin spice?
No. You're right. We did do a whole pumpkin spice episode. I went to Trader Joe's, bought way too much. The pumpkin seeds. But see, they only grabbed me for that week and a half. I have never gone back to them. But you are right. I can't say I've never loved something pumpkin flavored, but typically is not my October, November, December go-to.
Maybe I'll have to try these pumpkin seeds, and because we're more on the same wavelength. The second one that was middle good for me was the Hoosier sugar cream pie. I didn't even know what this was. I just walked in and kind of told them to put whatever they suggested. I said I wanted 3 slices, and that's kind of what they gave me. It was interesting. It's a cream pie. It's not too sweet, and it's not too hard to make. Super custardy and rich. And also I learned it was the Indiana state pie. And so it goes back to the 1800s and from the Amish and Shaker communities there. I just thought it was kind of interesting. I would eat it again, honestly. So my third pie that was my favorite was the fruit pie, the sour cream Dutch fruit pie. This was really freaking good. It had the sour cream mixed in with, I think it was cherries in the filling, and then kind of a cinnamon topping streusel kind of situation. Oh my God, they really complemented each other. So because I was eating them all at once, the sugar cream pie felt more muted after the tanginess of the fruit pie. But honestly, both solid. They're still in my fridge. I'm going to finish them, so.
That sour cream Dutch fruit pie also sounds so up my alley.
It was really good. No, and I was
so
really
good.
Hesitant to get it because I was like, sour cream, I don't really like that.
Oh,
But
sour cream and fruit that's the thing. That's the combo.
No, but this is why.
That's what's getting me.
No,
No,
Simone,
man.
this is why, sometimes you say things, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't eat that. But I trust you. So you guide us in the right direction.
You got any other recommendation for listeners today?
Yes, I do. So I'm also a key lime pie lover, and so is my mom, and she does not have a sweet tooth. But every year on her birthday, we get her a slice or a whole pie, depending on the year, of a Joe Stone Crab pie, which is fancy pansies, but it's really good. That's downtown off the Mag Mile. There's been so many great bakery news, I feel, this year in Chicago. But one that came across my radar recently was Give Me Some Sugar in South Shore. And it was this really sweet story of a regular customer found out that the owner was his biological mother. It was very sweet. Yeah, it's crazy. He had been going there for years. But they are doing Thanksgiving Day first come, first serve between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. and just pick up pies. So that would be today and tomorrow. Ambitious Kitchen is a food blogger based in Chicago that I've been following for years. She's just put out a cookbook, and she has a Dutch apple pie recipe. And her crust, she uses vodka, which I think is really interesting. It helps with moisture. And there is a pie baking class at a Roscoe Village baking school called Give Me Some Sugar. So they're very similar sounding names. But that, I believe, is December 14th, so in a few weeks.
Jacoby, what about you? Where did you go and what did you try?
All right, so I'm sitting right here with 5 different options in front of me. 3 of them are pies. 2 of them are not. One is a cake, one is a cobbler. My first stop was to Justice of the Pies in Avalon Park. I have been going there more and more over the last couple of months because we have floated this pie taste test. Probably we've been talking about it probably since the summer, and they're also located probably a 3-minute drive away from my mom. And so I've been going over there, and the 2 pies that I got from them was their salted caramel peach pie. The very first time I tried this, I absolutely loved it. Peach is probably my favorite natural and artificial flavoring.
It does cross that line very well.
Yes. And so the minute I saw salted caramel peach blending 2 of my favorite things, I had to try it. And it is just so good. I'm going to take a quick bite right now. Give me a second. I haven't had a slice of this fresh one. So tasty. And it's really good if you heat it up, which I have done. So this salted caramel peach pie, it feels like some granola, a little bit of granola in it. Again, the way that the peaches are sort of mashed alongside the dough. It tastes very good. The crust is really good. The sweet potato pie, I enjoy it, but of course everything is getting compared to mom's. And I actually like my sweet potato pie to taste like you dumped all of the sugar in it. I want it to be over sweet. I just really enjoy it, like extra sweet. And this is really good, really savory, really relies on the sweet potato to do a lot of the heavy lifting, which I appreciate. But after like a Thanksgiving that is filled with like savory dishes, I just want nonstop sugar and ice cream after I'm done. And so I like my sweet potato a little bit sweeter. So those were the options I got from Justice of the Pies in the pie category. I also got their lemon pound cake, which, y'all, they give you this huge hunking
Ooh, that's
slice.
a big boy. Yeah.
Yes, a huge hunking slice. I typically cut this into 3 little slices and eat them that way, heat them up with a little bit of ice cream. But another classic dish that is going to be at my family's Thanksgiving. From Justice of the Pies, I'd probably go in order: salted caramel pie first, then the pound cake, then the sweet potato pie. But they're all good. And I spoke with them earlier, and they are going to have hours today. So if people want to get in last minute before Thanksgiving, they're typically only open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but they will be open today.
Well, Jacoby, because you're an overachiever, you also went to one other spot. What'd you get there?
So I pulled up on Classic Cobbler in Bronzeville off 35th and Prairie, which I believe had their grand opening at this location back in the summer. The team that is behind Classic Cobbler has been working together in the Chicagoland area for well over a decade. Really beautiful shop when you walk in. So I grabbed a really big peach cobbler. And what I really love about this is like they have huge pieces of peach, huge pieces of crust. It isn't like a bunch of peach and then just like a layer of crust over the top. It looks like it's all mixed up. But I grabbed their lemon cream pie because, as I was saying earlier when you were talking about the key lime, I'm not a big fan of pies that are just cream based and then with like a meringue base on top. So I wanted to get this to kind of step out of the comfort zone a little bit. And I will say, really good. The lemon flavor is good. It's probably a 2-to-1 cream to meringue ratio, and so you really get the lemon off the back. The cream is like just like a little extra sweetness on top, but it doesn't take away. And I've probably taken more bites of that than I have of anything else at this point.
That's the thing about a key lime or a lemon, something kind of light like that, though, is like you just keep eating it because it's so light, right? Whereas I sometimes with the heavier ones, like they're so good, they're so rich, but can only do so much.
Yeah, I loved Classic Cobbler. They are open, have a Thanksgiving menu that you can pre-order on their website. So again, head down to our show notes.
Any other Rex, Jacoby, that you want to put the people on?
Yes, obviously, we could never come up with a comprehensive list. And so we'd love to hear from everybody listening. 773-780-0246. Give us all of your pie recommendations. My last one is going to be Happy Apple Pie in Oak Park. It's actually Taylor's favorite pie shop in the Chicagoland area. They do a fantastic key line from what I've heard, a good chocolate pie, as well as a fantastic, as you would imagine, due to the name, apple pie as well. They sell out really fast. And so if you go out there, maybe make a day of it, go thrifting. I think there's a brown elephant right around the corner.
There is, yeah.
And so it's a really good spot. I really enjoy it. And I feel like the last time I went there was this little old woman who was working behind the counter, and she was the absolute sweetest. And so, yeah, those are my recommendations.
You know, it's funny, Jacoby, if sweet potato pie is the one where you're like, well, nothing is as good as mom's, apple pie is mine. Nothing is no apple pie compares to my mother's apple pie. It just
apple
is
pie
what it
compares
is.
to my sister's. My sister's apple pie is, ooh. I think we have so many recommendations that we're going to drop in our show notes. Again, we would love to hear from you all listening. 773-780-0246. Leave your name, your neighborhood, and your pie recommendation. As always, I got to give a huge thank you to some CityCast Chicago OGs, our executive producer, Simone Alisea.
Hey, thanks, Jacoby.
And our newsletter editor, Sydney Madden.
Thanks, Jacoby.
Of course, I can't let you go without some good news. All Elite Wrestling is in Chicago tonight. Yes, I'm a WWE head acknowledger of the original Tribal Chief, but I'm excited AEW's Dynamite and Collision are live from Wintrust Arena in the South Loop. My brother is an absolute wrestling head, so shout out to Cole Cabana for getting us some tickets to get in the building. Before we push off to Thanksgiving, I want to make sure I thank everybody who has made CityCast Chicago and Hey Chicago possible. I am thankful for our executive producer, Simone Alisea, our producer, Michelle Navarro, our Hey Chicago newsletter editor, Sydney Madden. I am thankful for all of the music that has been provided to us by Sam Thousand, all the kimonos, and Mark Greenberg from the Mayfair Workshop. And I am thankful for you, the people who listen to CityCast Chicago, the people who read Hey Chicago, the people who have signed up to become members, the people who have helped make 2024, despite as confusing and as long and as droning as it has been at times, special. Thank y'all for being here to help make this experience special. I ask one last favor. If you're really thankful for the work we do, please share us with your friends and family. I'll see you bright and early on Monday. Happy Thanksgiving. Peace.
I don't know, Simone. One time you were talking about you really like a slimy texture. And I was like, oh, this doesn't resonate with me
I
at
think
all.
we're in the context of like boba. I think we were talking about, or something like that. I like a.
Sia said that left a mark in my brain that I shall not soon forget.
I've thought about it for a long, like months after you said it. So
I mean, it's fine. I stand by my food opinions. I really do.
You do. That's one of the things I appreciate about you. You both don't give a damn enough about most topics to like put up the fight. However, you say your opinion so strongly that it's also clear you don't give a damn to change them. So it's a very good argumentative posturing. Like it would really throw you off if you're trying to get into a debate with Samal.
It's no debate. This is what I think.